Man, you're just ruining it. Look at my lips. You're ruining it. Ruining.
I'm fine. Totally fine. I don't know why it's coming out all loud and squeaky, because really, I'm fine.
So the final chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen has been leaked online, and let's just say that fans right now are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because they have a variety of complaints against this chapter. And of course, usually when persons are upset, mad about anything, they usually take to social media. So we're going to talk about some of that today. Especially, I love this interesting one where this person is asking for emotional reparations. Where this person said, I am finally free. You will pay for my therapy, Gege Akutami. Another person says, you can't hurt me anymore, Gege Akutami. Next, thank you, Gege Akutami, for letting me down one last time. Thank you, Gege Akutami, for writing the worst manga ever. Then we have this interesting one. Gege Akutami, I come before you today humbled and humiliated to ask you for one thing. Please let these leaks be fake.
How about no? Yeah.
Now we're moving into some spoiler territory, so you have been warned, some spoilers are coming up with this tweet. This in reference to Gojo. No resurrection, no burial, no acknowledgement. Last panel being one where he looks ugly as hell. Whole fandom mad. Gege Akutami, you have done it again.
I see hate. Mr. Speaker, I see bitterness. Mr. Speaker, I see acrimony. Mr. Speaker, I see animosity. And Mr. Speaker, I see a man completely out of control.
Yeah, so many persons are basically saying that this individual, Gege, is completely out of control when it comes to his storytelling, because the reason especially persons are very upset, especially when the announcement was made that there was 5 chapters left to conclude Jujutsu Kaisen. Many persons complained that the ending will be rushed, and basically it came true. Some persons felt that the ending was anticlimactic, and still there were many questions, many storylines, many situations or important events that were left unresolved by Gege. Which leads us into this very interesting post where someone says Gege Akutami logging into his Twitter account and seeing the entire fan base thanking some guy named Mayamura for Jujutsu Kaisen, the manga that he created. Of course, we're not going to say that this is the entire fan base, but could see that some persons praising Mayamura for those who may not be aware, which might be just a few of you, but this person has been known to be a leaker of Jujutsu Kaisen over the years. And some persons are praising him more than the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen. The internet is an interesting place. And now there's another reasons why fans are upset with Gege, but I don't know if this is true or not, because it's based off a particular post that he made under the comment section of the final chapter, which is chapter 271. And the reason why is nobody has been able to confirm whether this post is true or not, because anything could be manipulated and put together nicely with whatever app or Photoshop or whatever it is and make it look like it's true. But here it is. Lol, I am glad you all truly believe me when I said I was making an ending that will satisfy everyone. I put subtle hints into making Gojo fans believe he was coming back just for them to be disappointed yet again. I could never bring that Infinity Merchant back after my wife comments about him. Thank you all for your support the past 6.5 years. Make sure you stay in tune for my next project, which will not be JJK related.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I don't know, something just doesn't feel right about this particular statement that Gege made. Hopefully this is not true. This is some fake thing that somebody made, but if it is true, hats off to you, sir, for your trollish behavior. So as we said, we have to wait until Monday the 30th of September to see when the chapter officially releases, and let's see what everything is all about and if this statement that he made is really true or not. And it has been said that the so-called happy announcement that is going to be made concerning the end of Jujutsu Kaisen is that it is 100 million copies of that manga has been in circulation throughout the years. So I leave the question for you. Do you think there is a slight possibility that we will get JJK or Jujutsu Kaisen Shippuden? Let us know in the comments. But we have to ask the question, some persons are asking the question, what to move on to? What to watch that will replace this thing called Jujutsu Kaisen? Well, one particular person who is working in the TV industry in Japan has a nice little suggestion for you. He says, and I quote, it's an anime that's interesting even for old guys like us, about facing unexpected events while accepting each other's diversity. I'm sure it will spread like Jujutsu Kaisen, Haikyuu, and Demon Slayer. The anime that we are talking about is none other than Dan. Everybody and their pet goldfish has been talking about that recently. It's supposed to come out, the anime is supposed to come out October the 4th of this year. So you could check it out, see if it is your cup of tea, and you could follow up with by reading the manga as well. Or of course you could just decide to read peak fiction and start reading One Piece.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So let's end this on a more positive note. It says in this tweet, a lot of people prefer to getting angry, questioning and disappointing towards chapter 271, which is I completely understand and I also won't judge or even blame them. But I just prefer to be positive and thanking Gege for all his hard work. It's the last chapter, dog. Boo! I prefer to be grateful. Jujutsu Kaisen is everything to me and it will regardless the ending. It surely is a fun ride.
That's really impressive. Whoa. Whoa. Bravo. Wow.
And I'm sure there are many persons who feel exactly the same way as you do, where yes, there may be persons who may be upset by the ending, but there are many persons who appreciate the series overall, and they may be disappointed, but they enjoyed Jujutsu Kaisen nonetheless. But I wonder how the Japanese audience will react to this final chapter of JJK, because I remember making a video about the series, a while ago, where the person said, the Japanese audience says that Jujutsu Kaisen is boring and repetitive, and that should be popping up on your screen. But don't forget, in order for you to access that video, you have to click on the subscribe button. Of course, that video will also be linked in the description as well. So that's it. Go on.